All right, Dr. Kevin's here. It's Wellness Wednesday, Bryant Wellness Institute. What's going on, Doc?
Well, with the weather getting warmer and shorts and flip flops just around the corner, I'm starting to get a lot of questions about what shoes are good, shoe wear, flip flops, if they're good for you, bad for you, taking care of your feet. So I wanted to go through that today. I'm starting to get
this is
awesome.
going to be
Wait,
awesome.
I'm going to take notes.
Yeah,
on this
starting to
one.
get a lot of questions.
Yesterday,
on that.
I texted my daughter. And I said, we need to go shopping for your daddy. I need some stylish slip-on shoes because my back problems, I can't really get down there like I used to. People think I want to wear flip-flops all the time, and it's because I can't. I gotta. I have to. It's mandatory. But I said, Brittany, we need to go shopping for some stylish slip-on shoes. And Miss Debbie, I told in the text to Brittany, I said, and Miss Debbie Ray says they need to have good support. Will you help your father? And she said, she texted back, deal. So I'm so glad that you are talking about this today. You read our minds.
Well, it's good because, foot problems are so prevalent in America. So many people are developing either, problems with their feet or with their knees. And a lot of this can be traced back to our shoe wear and foot problems are so common. The ankle and the foot is such a complicated mechanism. There's 26 bones and 33 joints just in the ankle and foot.
How many?
And
what?
There's 26 bones and 33 joints just in the ankle and foot. It actually makes up 1/4 of all the bones in our body is in our
From the ankle down.
From the ankle down.
That's unreal.
And the feet are literally a marvel of biomechanical engineering. I mean, if you see how the feet actually function, it's a very complicated system. And so you can develop a whole host of problems there. And, the average person takes 10,000 steps a day. That's 115,000 miles in their lifetime. That's 4 times around the earth. And so
in your lifetime.
Yeah.
In an average lifetime.
4 trips around the earth. That's amazing. And the amount of force that adds up on the ankles and on our feet is really unbelievable. It adds up to hundreds of tons of force. It's more than a fully loaded cement truck. If you were to add up the amount of impact and the amount of force that our feet and our bones in our ankles and our arches actually take throughout the day, it adds up to the weight of a fully loaded cement truck on those tendons and ligaments. So taking care of your feet is very, very important. And most people pay no attention to them until they start to have problems or until they start to have pain.
If it's cute, I want it.
Exactly. And so the problem, by the time the pain shows up, a lot of times it's too late. You already have collapsed arch or you already have a problem that's unfixable down there. So
it sounds like you're saying that all these bones can move.
Yeah, absolutely.
They can rearrange and get out of place.
That's what happens. Collapsed arches is one of the big things that happen. Now, with foot problems, women are 4 times more likely to develop foot problems than men, and I think it's pretty obvious why that is the case. And a 2.5-inch heel can increase the load on the front part of the foot by 75%. And that's just a 2.5-inch heel. That's not like these 5-inch ones that I see. That's just just a regular small heel can increase the weight on the forefoot by 75%. And the front part of the foot's not really meant for that. It's not really designed to take that much weight on the ball part of your foot.
I have a friend who can't wear flat shoes anymore because she's been wearing heels for so long.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So the body has adapted. It's pretty cool. So her tendons and her ligaments have shrank and adapted to where that's just the way her foot structure is now.
Ooh.
And so for her to wear flat shoes, it's not normal to her anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, the body's pretty amazing in that way. Now, the other thing that I want everybody to understand is that the feet, knees, pelvis, and lower back are all one system, not 3. What I mean by that is problems in one area can actually show up as problems in another area. Your back, knees, feet, and pelvis is all one system. So if you have a collapsed arch, it could show up as a knee problem. Or if you have a rotated pelvis, that can show up as a foot problem. So anytime you're evaluating someone who comes in with say, knee pain, or they come in with foot problems, you have to evaluate the entire lower body as one system. You have to look for problems in the pelvis, the lower back, the knees, and the feet, no matter what area or no matter where of they're having problems. So if they're having pain in the knee, you can't just look at the knee. You have to look at the pelvis, the lower back, the knees, and the feet, because this all acts as one system, and what rotates in one area.
Does that hold true for back pain too?
It does, yeah. That can be caused from knee problems or collapsed arch problems. So you have to evaluate that globally. You have to look at the whole lower half of the body whenever someone comes in with either a lower back or a pelvis or a knee or a foot pain. So I see many people go to the doctor with knee pain, and all they look at is their knee. They don't ever look at the structures that could be causing that knee to hurt anyway. And 85% of the time, knee problems are actually referred from either the feet or the pelvis. So the knee is kind of the area of the body that takes the pressure if there's a problem in the feet or a problem in the pelvis. So many times, most knee problems aren't actually coming from the knee. It's actually coming from either up or below that area. And so it's called a kinetic chain, meaning that whole area is connected and needs to be evaluated. So when we get back from break, I'm going to talk about something called plantar fasciitis. What that is...
Oh, now look. She was in my civics class. Miss Bayroyd, 1979.
So we're going to talk about her when we get back. Yeah. One of the things that I want people to always take care of is always take care of the arches of your feet. And that sounds a little bit strange, but your arches, collapsed arch, is one of the most common problems that we find whenever it comes to knee, foot, and hip and pelvis and lower back problems. So the arches of your feet are designed to have a nice, normal, healthy curve. And what most people don't realize is there's 3 arches to the feet, not just one. And all 3 of these arches have to be in place in order for the feet to be healthy. And so collapsed arch is the beginning of a really whole host of problems in the lower half of the body. And the bad news with this is once you lose your arch, once your arch has collapsed, meaning that you don't have a normal arch to your foot anymore, your foot is sort of flat and rolled out. Once that happens, it is not fixable. The reason it's not fixable is called plastic deformation, which means once you lose that arch, there's no bringing it back. You have to support it from underneath to prop it up once it happens.
Now you've got me.
I don't know if you can tell by eyeballing
How
it,
do
CJ.
you know if it's collapsed or not?
Well, we have a series of examinations and tests and things that we do to determine that it is. But the problem,
I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
Later, baby, later.
Okay.
So I guess you could cause someone's arch to come back, but you would literally have to have them, lay in the bed for 8 to 12 weeks and tie their arch up with taping and, have them lay there and do nothing. And that's not really possible. So that's not practical. So once you develop a collapsed arch, you have to support it underneath with like a custom orthotic that's going to have an arch support in there. And collapsed arch leads to pain in the bottom of the foot called plantar fasciitis. So what that means is that the tendon along the bottom of your foot has become sprained and stays sprained because the arch has collapsed and pulls it. It's like it's like you sprain your shoulder and you keep pulling it day after day after day. It's just going to stay really sore and inflamed. Mm-hmm. And one of the big signs that you have this is whenever you first put your feet on the ground in the morning, it's very, very painful. And then as you walk around, it kind of loosens up and it's not. Mm-hmm. But when you first step in the morning out of bed and your arches are real, real tender, mm-hmm. that means that you're developing this thing called plantar fasciitis. And
wait now. Now, if somebody listening who does experience that when they wake up in the morning, what action should they take?
Okay, so what we do for that is that we have a customized orthotic that we build them where we take an impression of your feet and we send that off to a lab and they build you a set of custom inserts to go in your shoes that is designed to build up your individual arch problem. And the reason that's so important instead of just trying to grab something off the shelf, because everybody's feet's different. In fact, your left foot's probably collapsed different than your right one, much less yours is the same as everyone else's. So to just go try to buy a Dr. Scholl's arch support or to buy something off the shelf, that's not going to be near as effective as taking an impression and what your feet are actually doing and sending that to the lab and having a pair of custom orthotics built for you.
You do that at Bryant Wellness Institute?
Uh-huh. Now, most people are used to those old ones that they make at the doctor that are real hard plasticky. Mm-hmm. The new ones that we make now are really soft and comfortable, and they have extra cushioning on them. So a lot of times people will have had a custom orthotic made years ago, and they're real hard plastic and they're real uncomfortable, and they end up not wearing them. Well, the newer ones aren't like that at all. The new ones are very, very comfortable, and we can have those custom made in about a week.
And they still do the trick.
Oh, yeah, they're very effective. I wear them myself. Now, if you look at the soles of your shoes, and if take some of your shoes that you've been wearing for a while or your work boots, and if you look at the sole of your shoe, and if the outside of your heel is worn off more than the inside, then you may have some collapsed arch problem.
Debbie and I
Deb, let me see yours.
Both looking.
Now, Deb, look right here on
But
yours.
has she worn that a lot?
Look at how this outside is all worn out,
Mm-hmm.
and the inside is brand new. See these crevices around the sole is fine on this side. On this side, it's completely collapsed. So that's an indication that you may have on that particular foot. You may have some arch problems developing.
Show me your other shoe.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. So a lot of times you'll see men's work boots because they're on their feet so
I'm
much.
not even showing y'all mine.
And you
Come
can
on,
no,
CJ.
look
Show
at
me
this.
yours.
I mean, it is really my feet are screwed up.
Hold it up.
No, I'm embarrassed.
It looks like yours is more on the inside.
Yeah, mine. Yeah, exactly. I've worn out the inside of mine.
Oh.
Gee, we have
Why you
opposite
go?
problems.
Ooh?
Imagine
you didn't
that.
go over her.
Yeah.
Why you go ooh for me?
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah,
It's
that's
worse if it's on the
probably
inside.
is. Yeah, that means your feet are really rolling to the outside, which is probably not a good thing. Yeah,
You know, I should just crawl in a hole.
No, you should get some custom orthotics.
Yeah. So these custom stabilizers are really, really nice to have. And if you look, like a lot of times you'll see men's work boots, the whole outside of the heel is almost gone and the inside of their heel is almost brand new. And then if they continue with that, they're going to have arch problems and knee problems. And this can lead to early knee replacements and, you know, all kinds of things in the future. So just pay attention to your feet and your arches and the way your shoes are wearing. You know, you pay attention to the way your tires on your car are wearing.
I know, right?
You know, pay attention to the
Really?
way your shoe wear is happening. So
Y'all may need an alignment.
And
So
you know,
I
the
have a-
shoes that you used to have to put orthotics in were all ugly.
Yeah.
And they looked like old grandma shoes. And now with these custom orthotics that you do, you can put them in almost
In any shoes.
Any shoe, yeah.
we have them that can go in everything from heels to flip-flops
Yeah.
to tennis shoes.
It's
So
a completely different world now.
it really is.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have some tips for managing foot problems. Number one is inspect your feet and your shoes and your soles. And if you're developing like calluses or uneven wear, or your toes are turning in, or bunions or hammer toes, all of that means that you're developing problems. And then number two
Gee,
is
thanks.
Number two is buy and wear the proper size shoes. You know, don't cram your feet into shoes just because they look good that are uncomfortable. And I know
But they
you
were
know,
on sale.
you know-
I know
Dr.
the
Kevin.
ladies. I know
No,
the ladies.
you
are
know,
like-
ladies.
Yeah.
You know, women who are a size 8 are wearing a size 2.
Yeah, and I know they're like, yeah, right, doc. But you know, this is going to lead to problems down the road. And you know, it might be okay if you're going to do that for an hour. You know, let's say you're going to church or whatever. But if these are shoes that you're going to be moving around in, or that you're going to wear to work, or that you're going to wear all day, you really want to, you know, have some comfortable shoes. So look at it this way: it's a good excuse to go shoe shopping.
There you go.
You know,
How's your staff handle like? They're on their feet all day.
yeah, we wear tennis shoes.
You wear tennis shoes?
And we wear tennis shoes all the time. Yeah.
And I'll bet they're the kind of shoes with good support.
Yeah, New Balance.
Not
I
those,
like New Balance.
Not those flat, skinny,
No.
soled ones.
No,
Mhm.
exactly. Yeah, I like New Balance myself. That's my favorite, you know, arch shoe for good arches.
New Balance.
Is New Balance. I like New Balance.
Okay.
And then number three is wear shoes that have a good arch. Well, that number three is like New Balance. Avoid flat bottom flip flops. Now, the worst shoes for the summertime that you can wear is the sandals that on the bottom of them it's just a flat piece of leather. You know, there's no arch, there's no curve to it whatsoever. It's just basically
Like flip flops.
Yeah, it's just a flat piece of leather with straps on it. Those are basically like going barefooted all day, and that puts tremendous strain on your arches. So if you're going to get flip-flops or you're going to get sandals, at least get some that have a little bit of a curve in the arch, you know, have a little bit of a
okay.
support to them. And so it's not that the flip-flops are bad, it's just when they have zero curvature for your foot to
Okay.
sit in, those are the ones that are real bad for you. And then number four is avoid walking barefoot. I never walk barefoot around my house. I have a pair of Crocs, which Crocs are pretty good for your feet as well. And so, like, if I'm sitting on the couch, I have my Crocs next to me, and when I stand up, I slip those on, go do what I have to do and come back and I can slip my feet out of them. So, going barefooted is real bad for your feet.
You are the perfect person.
And
no, you're the perfect person. You're the perfect specimen of a human being.
I don't even know what to say to that.
No, you do.
Just agree with him and continue.
No, I don't even know what to say to that.
You eat right. You exercise. You take care of your feet. No, I'm serious. You should live to 210.
I'll take that.
Are you going to talk about any brand names besides New Balance?
There's a couple of really good brand names of sandals. I know Crocs actually makes some flip-flops now that are pretty good.
Mm-hmm. We've talked about Vionics before.
yeah.
I think you dated her also, didn't you?
Yeah.
No, if I get a dog, I'm naming my dog
okay.
Vionics. I want a dog, and I want to name the dog Vionics. Okay. Can you imagine me in the front yard going, Vionics? I'm serious. I'm serious. I'm totally serious. When I get a dog, it will be named. People go, oh, it's going to be Elvis or Priscilla. No, it's going to be Vionics. I can't wait to get a dog.
I like it. Yeah. So I did have a list. I'll post it on our
Awesome.
Facebook. Yeah, I'll put it on our Facebook page. I did have a list of flip-flops that are really good. I'll have to look that up and post that for you guys on our Facebook page.
But I mean, you can almost, it sounds like you can almost, according to you can almost just eye it if it's got a little support to it.
Yeah, if it's got some support, it's probably fine. And, if you put them on and it feels like you're still barefooted, that's not good for your feet. You want some
like these I'm wearing now.
You want something pushing up on your arches that's going to give you some kind of a little curvature there.
You cost me so much money when you come in here on Wednesday.
Whenever I buy shoes, I always try to imagine what it's going to feel like at 8 o'clock that night.
Yeah.
And you can tell pretty quickly, this is not going to feel good at 8 o'clock tonight.
Miss Debbie Ray is not about fashion. One time she painted shoes with a can of spray paint. I watched it with my own eyes.
Yeah. They were good. They worked.
There you go.
And they didn't come in the color I wanted.
Mm-hmm. So she painted them.
It was for a special occasion.
She
Only wore them
painted
once.
Kryline, that stuff at Lowe's, Home Depot. She painted her shoes. And of course, that night I told everyone they were painted.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It worked.
That's all that matters, right?
That's right.
I mean, if you got a good pair of shoes, you got a good pair of shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's important. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm so glad you came in here with us today.
Oh, good. I appreciate that. So, catch us on Facebook at the Bryant Wellness Institute. I'll post a little bit more about this on there. I have a list somewhere on the.
I'm telling you, people will have questions about today's show. Thank you.
I get a lot of questions on it.
Yeah. All right, Dr. Kevin, we done?
Yep, we're done.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Dr.
guys.
Kevin. Wellness Wednesday, KTDY.